Hello, it's Matt with Flood Fridays. Today we're going to be talking about different methods of attaching two ropes together of similar diameter. So this is what's currently taught in Storm. It's the double fisherman's knot. Some of the disadvantages of this, it's a bit slower to tie and it can be very hard to untie once it's been loaded very heavily. This is going to be the alternative that we're talking about today, which is the Flemish bend. These are both Flemish bends. They're different versions of the same thing. With a Flemish bend, we're rethreading a figure eight through the other direction. This allows us to connect two ropes of, again, similar diameter together in a very, very strong knot that is very resistant to cyclic loading. Cyclic loading is where one side of our rope is anchored and the other side's our load. If the load's changing in force or it has floodwater applying to it, it's going to be putting different levels of strain through the rope, and this can cause some knots like the sheet bend to untie themselves. So again, we don't have to worry about that as much. Another benefit to the double fisherman's knot is we can put a loop in. So we can have a loop either direction, depending which way you tie it, and this allows us to directionally clip in. It's not like an alpine butterfly. We can't clip in anywhere and go wherever we want. We can only load this in the direction that it's sort of facing, but we can put mechanical advantage or something like that onto it. We could use a Flemish bend to attach two ropes if we're doing a longer tension diagonal, or in general Storm applications if we have a large roof. So this is how we're going to be tying it. So now we're going to be talking about how to tie the Flemish bend. So we're starting off just with our normal figure eight, and we're going to bring the tail of our rope in on just the tail of the remaining of the rope. And we're just going to follow it along. So exactly like we would if we were rethreading a figure eight for a bite. Just following this main strand along, going underneath. And then we're going to go around, again, just following this strand along, and then underneath. And when we're just doing two, we can make sure that it's dressed nicely. We want a good little bit of tail, so it doesn't pull through. There you go. That's our standard Flemish bend, just for joining two ropes together. Then we're going to move on, and we're going to do our Flemish bend on a bite. And we're starting off with a figure eight on a bite. Tie that as you will. And we're going to bring that tail end of that new rope, and we're going to start off with on the bite end now. And again, we're just going to be following it through. So we're just imagining one of these strands. Going to bring it through, not going through the loop. Give ourselves a little bit of rope to work with. We're going to follow this strand along. So going underneath, going again underneath these three strands now. And then around and back through. Again, it's not going to be as neatly dressed, but we can still dress our knots. We like dressed knots. Then that's going to give us our Flemish bend with a directional loop.